معكم الأستاذ محمد. اليوم نقدم درس خاص بتلاميذ السنة الرابعة متوسط، متمنين التوفيق من الله عز وجل. Our lesson today is about the simple past tense. The simple past tense is an action that happened in the past. So we have the word happen, which means occur. The simple past tense. The simple past tense. As I said, it is an action that happened in the past. So there are time makers that allow us to know this tense. We have yesterday, ago, past event, and the word last. So these four elements, these elements show us the simple past tense. So in the simple past tense, we use verbs. We have two types of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. So here we have two types, or we say two kinds, or two sorts. So there are two types of verbs, regular verbs and irregular verbs. So the regular verbs are verbs in the past plus E. Irregular verbs are verbs in the past, so change. These verbs change. So we have the verb to arrive, simple past, arriving. To go, simple past, went. Let's take an example. 2 days ago, Cristiano scored 2 goals. Last Friday, Mom made a big meal. So here we have the first sentence. We use the verb score in the past scored. So this is a regular verb. The second verb, made, is the simple past of the verb to make, and it is in the past. So here we have last Friday, the time maker, that shows us that the sentence is in the simple past. And ago also shows us that the sentence is in the simple past. Now, let's move to the affirmative form. Affirmative. In the affirmative form, we have subject plus verb plus object. Example, they travel to Paris last night. They traveled to Paris last night. So we have the subject, we have the verb in the simple past regular verb, and we have to Paris the object. They traveled to Paris last night. So the sentence is in the affirmative form. So we have the pronouns now. I, he, she, it, you, we, they. Let's take an example. The verb made. I made, he made, she made, it made, you made, we made, they made. Let's now turn into the interrogative form. Interrogative. So we use did. Did I? Did he? Did she? Did it? Did you? Did we? Did they? And we have the verb in the infinitive, make. Did I make? Did he make? Did she make? Did it make? Did you make? Did we make? Did they make? Okay, so this is a use second table. Now let's move to the affirmative and the negative. Affirmative and the negative form. So here we say yes, all pronouns I, he, she, it, you, we, they, you, plus did. No, with all pronouns plus did not. So here we have, we call it a short answer with yes or no. So here the interrogative form with did I, did he, did she, so all the pronouns and the verb made will be in the affirmative form, in the infinitive, did I make, did he make, did she make. Affirmative with yes, negative with no. Now, let's move to negative sentences. Negative sentences. Negative sentences. So, didn't make. Let's take an example. We didn't go to the park yesterday. We didn't go to the park yesterday. So here we have the sentence is in the negative form. So this is, we call it a negative sentences. A negative sentences. Now let's summarize the simple past. Simple past tense is a tense which talks about an action that happened in the past. So we have the time makers. This is, we know the simple past with 4 elements. Yesterday, ago, past event, and the word last. So here we use verbs. We have 2 kinds of verbs, regular and irregular. So the opposite of regular is irregular. Regular verbs are the verbs in the past we add ed or we say plus ed. Let's take an example. Arrive, arriving. Pick, picking. Change, changing. And irregular verbs are verbs in the past, they change. Let's take an example. Go, went. See, saw. Write, wrote, etc. Affirmative form, we have a subject and verb plus object. They traveled to Paris last night. They traveled to Paris last night. So here the verb to travel is a regular verb. I add ed and I double L. They traveled to Paris last night. Concerning ago. Concerning ago. So this is about a period. And this period, we have a number. So we say a number of period. 1 hour. 1 hour ago. 2 years ago. So here 2 years ago and 1 hour ago, this is a period. Concerning the word past event, so the past event usually we know it as an example in 2020 or in 1999. Yesterday is the opposite of today. Yesterday, and we have today. Concerning last, so here it's the opposite of every. Last Friday, or we say last day, last week, last summer, etc., etc., etc. Now we move to the affirmative form and the negative form. So here we have with yes and we have with no. Yes, he, she, it did. Yes, I, you, we, they, you did. The negative form, no, with all the pronouns, I, he, she, it, you, we, they, you, didn't, or we say did not. So, didn't means did not. The negative sentences, as the example given below, so didn't make. Let's take an example. We didn't go to the park yesterday. So here we have the negative form in a sentence. Now we move to the affirmative and negative, so they give short answer. Short answer. The WH questions, give long answer. The WH questions, they give long answer. So we call them WH questions because they start they start or begin with a WH. With WH. Let's take examples. When, where, what, why, how, what time, what. So here we call them the WH questions. So the WH questions, they give a long answer. Let's take the rule. WH question plus did plus subject plus verb in the infinitive form. Question mark. Let's take an example. They left school in 2019. Let's study the sentence. They, subject, left, verb, school, object, in 2019. So this is, we call it frequency. Alright, so the first WH question is who? The second, what? So here, who is about the subject. Keep the verb as it is. Keep the verb as it is. What about the verb? So, what did, and we give the infinitive of did, which is do. So, what, WH question plus did plus subject plus do. Now, they left school in 2019. Question number one. Who left school in 2019? Now, let's move to the verb. What did they leave in 2000? What did they do? What did they do in 2019? So the first question is about the subject. The second one is about the verb. Now, let's move to the object. Now, in this case, we keep this rule. WH question plus subject plus verb in the infinitive. Number three. What did they leave in 2019? The answer, they left school in 2019. Number four, in 2019. So, frequency when. So, when plus did plus subject plus verb in the infinitive. When did they leave school? The answer, they left school in 2019. So these, the WH questions. So here we have long answer. Long answer. The affirmative or with yes or no, short answer. Hoping you understand my pupils the lesson very well. Thank you very much.